Alright, Whitesnake with Bad Boys, CBT lesson. For Jesse, this was a specific version you wanted from someone else that was covering it. 𝐂𝐒𝐒𝐄𝐒𝐓, �YAGIMI, and the number 1. So you want to tune standard. I got that's 7 pages in your tabs. I've got the whole notation legend of all the techniques that are in here. This was the version that, like I said, that you wanted. So I believe the original is like palm muting off the open E. She wasn't doing that in this. I've got everything subgrouped, time stamped. Basic EQ would be like lows 6 to 7, mid 7 to 8, highs 8 to 9, reverb on about 2. So without any further ado, let's get started on your CBT lesson here. So here's where we're going to start. Standard tuning, like I said, E, A, D, G, B, E. And we're going to start with a D5 power chord. So we're going to go 5A, 7D. When you go to the 7D, you're going to want to use your pinky, because what's happening is you're going to be sliding the half step with the root here. So actually, let me play just this first little chunk so you can see what I'm talking about. And then you have. All right. So this is from the beginning to 25 seconds, section 1. So going back here to the 5A, 7D, you want to, here's a little better angle going. It's alternate picking, starting with the downstroke on the open E. So it's down, up, then you hit strings 5 and 4. So when you do that, I always like to point this stuff out, Jesse, just in case. It's a good idea to keep isolation from that open string from bleeding through on the chord to actually touch underneath the low E string. You may already do that, but I want to throw that out there. Make sure that everything's covered here. That's a little subgroup within itself. You want to get used to the down, up chord. Okay, so once you hit the chord, you're going to slide the index finger a half step over to 4, and then slide it back to 5. So when you hit the power chord, you're done with it. The rest is technique. It would be, okay? And then you're going to repeat that. There's a short rest after the power chord this time. In other words, so let me play both those so you can hear the difference. On paper, it looks all the same, with the exception of this rest. So, see what's happening there? I'll slow it down a little. And then down, up on the open E, right back to this D5 power chord. You're going to hit that, slide it a whole step up to 7/9. And then in her version, she does a lot of just kind of little fret hand muting. So when you slide, then release the pressure, drops these 2 fingers down, and go basically across strings 5 and 4, down, up. It shouldn't be any notes, just muting. Like that. So. It might catch a little natural harmonics in it. That's just a natural thing that happens. And then you'll go 3A, 4D, hit those. Then from there we'll go to 3/5 AD. So it's. Then the next thing that takes place is a repeat, but you're going to lead it in with a slide on fret 19 on the low E. Use your middle finger, slide it to around fret 3, and then you're going to start it over again. There's a little bit different ending on it though. So after the slide, okay, so that's all repeat there. Once you slide up to the E5 from the D5, you got the fret hand mute, down, up. Then we jump over to 3A, 4D. Now this time we're going to go. Quicker it'd be. One more time. And what's happening here is, after you do the 3A, 4D, it's a C flat 5 is the name of it. Short rest, fret hand mute, just relieve the pressure, and you can set these fingers down over it just to get the, and then that transitions into 3/5 AD. You have another rest with the fret hand mute, back to the 3A, 4D, rest, hit it transition to the 3/5 AD. So you'd have, and then fret hand mute A and D, and move into this A5 power chord, which is open A to D, and then middle finger 3rd fret low E. So we got, and then we're starting it over again. So you'd have the, and then we got to flip to page 2 on the back side. This time, after you slide from the D to the E, you'll actually hit the chord once you're there, and then fret hand down up. Now you'll see the X for your mutes in the tabs across the A and D string. I mean, if you hit the low E with it, as long as it's muted, don't sweat it, because I don't want you to have to overanalyze. That's kind of a feel thing that just kind of naturally happens. So if it's like, no biggie, man, but it's you wouldn't want to go and hit all of them. That's what I'm getting at. So, and then we'll go to this 3A 4D fret hand mute, and then 3/5 AD, and then some natural harmonics. So you'll go 5D and natural harmonics just right above the silver fret bar. Light pressure. It can't be off-centered. Like if you were fretting the note, it's actually above the fret wire on fret 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna pick that and then lift the finger, pick kind of hard. Then do the same thing on the G string. So, and then go over to the B string. We're gonna catch fret 7, a natural harmonic, on the B, G, and the D. So it's, let's lead into that. Then you're going to repeat it again from the 19th fret low E slide. It's more the effect of the slide too. It's a big slide. If you land fret 20, it's no big deal. You don't really hear the note that starts and ends so much as you do the effect of the slide. All right. In other words, if it was played by the same player 3 times, chances are it wouldn't be on fret 19 every time. That's just what I'm hearing. Then we got to have an idea of where to send you for this slide. All right, so then you're back to the main groove here, which would be with an altered ending. Okay, so that's repeat stuff, right? Really cool part. So after you slide from D to E on your power chord, you'll hit an open G. It is in there if you listen close. And then we move into this. It's actually used in Crazy Train, this same little run. It's a double pull-off. You're going to start on 4G. Before you do that, go ahead and set down 2 on the G as well. And pinch harmonic. And if you have trouble on pinch harmonics, type in Mike Gross pinch harmonics on YouTube. It'll pull up a really good lesson that'll help you with these pinch harmonics. If you can't get them, don't sweat it. Work towards it. You know what I mean? But the main thing here is the riff, which is pick 4 on the G, pull to 2, and pull to open. So it's like, I'll do it without the pinch harmonics. You'd have. Okay, so you got 3 notes per string, you're picking the first note. Now I'll do it with the pinch harmonics. Alright? So pick, pull to 2, and pull to open. When you do those pulls, the best way to approach it in your mind is to let the finger land on the string below. That will avoid any unwanted noise, like you don't want to hear other strings, just the individual string. Alright, so do the same thing on the D string. 4-2 open, picking only the 4. Same thing on the A. That is going to go 4 times, and you'll see double dots telling you, and then I put 4x after it. So, and then middle finger 3 on the low E, pinch harmonic, do a whole step, bend, release. A whole step is 2 frets. You're bending a G to an A note. Without the pinch, it's all right, and then that's it for that section. Section 2 comes up. This is 26 seconds to 37 seconds. This is actually where 𝐂𝐐EVRDALE comes in with the vocals, and actually it's very similar to what you just did. You'll start it the same way as the beginning. Now this one will have the power chord sliding to 7/9, and then you hit the 7/9, fret hand mute down up, and then this is different here. You'll go. So what happens is, after the fret hand, you'll go open A, 4D, open A, 2D twice. So, and then this single note walk up, open A, 7 on the E, 8 on the E twice. So, the cool thing with that open is, when you're finishing you have to take time to get up here. You would utilize that time to catch the open A. Then bar the 7th fret on the D and G. So back to the 8E, back to the 7D and G barred, down, up, down. And that has double dots around it, so you're going to play that 2 times as well. Okay, so the next part is section 3. This is 38 seconds to 44 seconds. And they use this a lot in actual like blues riffs, but this goes. Let's start with that. That's the first half of it. Well, I'll show you the second half too, or I'll play it really quick. So we'll get to that second half in a second. One thing that might help you to memorize this too, by the way, is this is alternate picking, and it's double, so you're playing 2 times on every note. But you may be familiar with the pattern already, which would be 7E, 6A, 9A, 6D, 7D, and then play it backwards. But you're going to alternate pick and double it, so it ends up being. Sounds like a different song, huh? At that tempo. That's about how fast they're doing it. So, and then the second one starts the same way until you get to the 9A. Then we're going to go 7D down up, 9D down up, 7D down up, 9A down up, 6A down up. So here's that whole part, slowed down. Alright, and then the second half of this. Open A, down up, down up. You can get situated for the next part by barring the 2nd fret on the D and G. And go down, up, D, G, down, up, D, G, down, down. It's a good subgroup actually. And then open A, 2D, 2G, you're gonna go. And then this kicks into the chorus here. 5A, 7D, and then 7G, 8B. I'm out of tune. So we have, let's see here, and the fingering I wrote down for you, Jesse, on the parts that I thought would be the most important. You can always alter the fingerings, but the parts that I thought were pretty critical to keep that way, I did write down for you, which is actually a big chunk of it. Then from one section to the next, here we go. This is section 4, and 2 times, 2nd time no star. So you got to play the section to see what that means. But you have this. it leads right back in. Oops. So let's go over that. Open E. It's an E5 power chord, so 7A, 9D. And then open A, 2D, it's a walk up. And then 3A, 4D, hit them together. And then 3A, 5D. 5A, 7D. So let's play it up to there. And then this little riff here goes. Let's do that. 7A, slide to 9. We have. Don't hang out on that start note of the slide too long. That's just your start point for the slide. And then bar the 7th fret D and G. Back to 9A. Back to 7, 7 D, G. And then bar the 5th fret D and G. Hit it again. And then 5, 7 A D. 7, 8 G B. So let's do that whole section now. So the second time there's no star. So here's the second one. Actually, let's do them both. Here's the second one. You'll just hit the 5 D and G, let it ring. Alright, then you hit a bunch of repeats. We got section 1, no star, section 2, 2 times, section 3, 1 time, section 4, 2 times, no star on the second time. And we move on to page 4. And this is instead of the star, there's kind of this thing before the solo, the part that went, that whole concept. You'll go 7A, slide to 9, 7 D and G, 9A, 7 D and G, slide to 5. So that was like this. And that has double dots, that'll be 2 times. Then the guitar solo kicks in. And let's do it. 140 to 142, I subgrouped these riffs for you. You could subgroup them smaller if you want. But it just makes it easier to work on them when they're kind of set up like this. 17 on the B. The fingering you can kind of mess around with in the solo. There's a couple different options, but I did write some parts in the solo with the fingering. And the start part is one of them. 17B, whole step bend. Let's play the riff first. Yep. So you're bending it, picking with a downstroke, 14E up, 17, 14B down up, 16G up, 14, 17B up, down. Yeah. And then up on 14E. Down up 17, 14 on the B, 17B down, you're going to bend a whole step, up on 14E, down up on 17, 14B, and then 19B whole step bend. So. And then subgroup 2 comes in. This is 143 to 145. Go 14, 17 on the B. Bend the 17. (14, 16 E). And then 17, 14 B. 17G, 14B. Even those four notes, Jesse, you can subgroup. And grab more of it if you want, you know. And then 17, 14B, 17G, 14B, 17, 16, 14, 14G. So you have part 2 coming up.